Hey, what's up? I'm Andrew. Thanks for checking out this video. Tonight I'm going to be making a spinning paint table that I've been wanting to build for a while, and today finally got all the pieces needed. And big shout out to Dan, my neighbor. Thank you for hooking me up with a table. And they're getting ready to open Swan Valley CBD. You can check all their stuff out at Swan Valley CBD, Facebook or Instagram. Just give you a quick run through of all the parts and pieces that I needed to put this thing together, and then I'll just show you the steps of actually doing it. And I think it'll be super helpful for a lot of artists out there, especially doing like pour paintings and other stuff that you don't want to have to put your hands on while working and be able to get to all sides of it. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and let's get into it. All right, here we go. So I decided to go with the Lazy Susan bearing. This is a 12-inch in diameter. I'm not really sure how to pronounce the name of this brand, but anyways, the part number is BP548812. I'll put a link in the description, and it's pretty cheap. I think it was like 17 bucks. Totally worth it, but this one's a little heavier duty, and it's rated up to 1,000 pounds, so for the money you can't go wrong. Got a little syringe for oil and guns that I used. I'm going to use that to re-oil this bearing with some PB Blaster I got in this little metal cup. And the reason I'm going with the oil over a grease is because grease tends to gum up and kind of dry out a little bit over time. And when it's in just kind of a dry ball bearing setup, grease will usually slow it down. So I'm using an oil where it'll kind of stay liquidy and won't gum up and be able to spin faster. So yeah, using that. Make sure on your screws you get them flat to be able to sit flush against the bearing, otherwise you'll have issues with it spinning. Drill bit, I went ahead and marked my drill bit with some tape, just the length of the screw, and then that way I have a stopping point when drilling through the table so I don't go through the other side. Of course, your bits, a little bit of eye protection to keep your eyeballs shining. Tape measure, drills are pretty explanatory. Some marking utensils. Here's the, I guess, professional stand you'd see at a restaurant or something. Nice metal, heavy duty, made for, you know, wide tables. Good reason I went with this is because it's got adjustable feet on it. So when you're doing pour paintings or whatever, you know, you can get your table perfectly level. You know, that way you don't have your paint running off one side or the other. And then here is the awesome table I got. It's got a laminate finish on it. And I think these are pretty much from restaurants or, you know, outdoor events is what they use them for. Nice and thick so it won't sag over time. I think the brand of this one is Grand Rapids Chair Company. If you're looking to find one exactly like this, you know, I got it from free from my neighbor, but you can get these on a budget. I think he picked up the table and stands. They were 20 bucks a piece, which is crazy good deal. He was saying they were about, you know, 300 bucks a piece. So that's building a table on a budget. That pretty much covers it. We'll get things set up and we'll get ready to start putting this together. Alright, we're back here. Gonna find the center of this. Make sure we can get the bearing centered best as possible. Best way I know how is just to measure across, find your diameter, split that number. It should give you close to center. Let's see what we got. About 42. Yeah, 42. We'll go 21. I always like checking around too, just to make sure it all lands on the same spot. Good to me. So let's eyeball this. You gotta make sure this is the right side up, because there's a little hole in there you gotta use to access to get the screws in from the bottom side.
Close enough. Check with the measure. Looks like we got 15 inches.
That's pretty close. Alright, just gonna mark these holes real quick and then show you how I'm gonna measure it up to get it attached to the stand. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm gonna pre-drill these holes real quick. When I showed you that drill bit with a piece of tape on it, I don't know if you can see that, but I measured that to be the depth of the screw, and then make sure it's not going to go all the way through the table. So let's drill it down toward that tape pits. And you don't want the hole too big, but if you don't have some kind of hole with this press board, the screw will probably definitely auger out the wood, and then you won't have any bite on it. Alright, I'll see you at the base. Alright, same kind of procedure. Find the center. Get some holes. Use some self-tapping screws, but this metal's a little bit thicker on this stand, so I'm probably going to just pre-drill it and keep it from stripping those screws out.
Three-eighths. Three-eighths. Three-eighths, the magic number.
Alright, I'm going to drill that out and I'll be right back. Alright, easy enough. Oh, one more thing. Probably wondered why I had a syringe on my table. It's going to be the easiest way to get some of this PB blaster into the bearing to make sure it's got smooth rolling. Sure, you could probably just spray it in there, but really don't want PB blaster all over the kitchen. That's Kato the cat. Oh yeah, that made a huge difference. Go put this baby on the table. Get a screw in there. Since it spins, I'm probably gonna drive one screw in, not all the way tight. That way I can spin it to line the other holes up. I'm gonna run them in with a drill most of the way and then snug them up by hand. For the table, on the wood part, I use as many screws as possible just from over time moving and wiggling around. Use as many screws to keep it from stripping or coming loose. But I don't know. I always overbuild everything that I can. Just because sometimes it gets a little rowdy up in here. Alright, clean up, be back, test this thing out. Alrighty, we're gonna wrap this up of how to build a cheap spinning art table. I think it came out pretty good. Definitely glad I used thicker, heavier wood. And that bearing was definitely the right pick because of the size of it and the weight and how big the table was. But give you a little walk through. Definitely is going to work perfect, and also recommend going with a round table. That way if you're sitting here, you ain't have to worry about the corners. Well, that's it. Thank you. Give me a like if you like the video. Any comments or questions, and subscribe to the channel because next videos I'm going to be doing the painting on.